voices, the stories of the departed. For in the shadows hides the evil that lurks within. As the light dies and slowly becomes night, the realm of the spirits rule the world. In the darkness of your mind hides your own inner demons, brings to life your deepest fears. Do you have what it takes to speak to the dead? Do you accept your own mortality? In the search for life after life, have you ever seen a ghost, spirit, or demon? Have the lights flickered and the room became as cold as death itself? Maybe you have, maybe it was your own subconscious preparing you for death. Come spend some of what's left of your own existence in our search for the answers hidden behind the veil. Shake off the blinders and open your mind's eye. Listen to the story.
You know what? Forget the intro. I'm just want to get this shit started tonight. Hope you all are well. Dead's Vexus and TM and Prison. My God, kind of packed in here tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get on over to the screen. Got everything loaded. Saw Dead subscribe 39 months, 12, 24, 30, 3 years and 3 months. How you guys doing? Let's get on over. Let's get Dead's spins out of the way before we get started with the audio. Get the double spin. Habanero, of course. And fucking Reaper it. Fucking figures. Okay. I get the two hottest ones to start off the show. So, there they are. Oh, those are hot. Dead's sub popped up before Prison said hi by a few seconds. Still, they're both here about the same time. Whatever. And that's still burning. Deads, I will say that the activity we had this year was more than 4 years combined. That's how active it was. We did not go up the hill at all. Like I said, quality air up there was shit. They didn't. Susan, oh, excuse me, really didn't want us up there. Aside from going in to check the sync from the EVP, which you guys saw. We found something on the in the sink. Uh, Even Chris Pitzer said that that was unheard of. That is the best thing they've ever had happen at the prison. Get an EVP telling you where to find something, mainly a weapon. As I said, what's up, Moosey? I went all out and got shackled and handcuffed before I was put in the execution chamber. It was between the sink and the wall. It was wedged in behind the sink and the wall. Chris Pitzer had to pull it out with a pair of pliers. It was wedged in that well. But you can see the leg irons and the handcuffs. It was intense. I ain't gonna lie. I had to watch a few seconds of video, like I said in Discord, just so I could separate the investigation from the chamber, because we're doing the chamber last. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Let's just say that, like, Friday night, I had the prison completely to myself. I had Susan and Chris join in, of course. Saturday night, the other team that joined in, they showed up over about an hour late, stayed about an hour and a half, left for 2.5 hours to have dinner, came back, investigated for about an hour and a half, and left. So pretty much I had the prison by myself for 2 nights. It did not disappoint. Minus Deads, we've only got 2 nights to go through. TM, no, plastic knives were used as weapons. It was either used to cut drugs or they were makeshifting a weapon. And this comes from Chris Pitzer, who was a guard at that prison. I'm telling you, this was from when the prison was active. So, and this is from one of the guards there. So, his word trumps everybody's. Still freaks me out. They gave me the piece of knife. I've got it in my case. Susan's like, it's part of the newer part of prison. Doesn't have to do with the old building. So they're like, we want you to have it. Gave them the mugshot cards along with the 2 wanted posters. Joe wasn't there. Joe was actually down here in Vegas on some personal family business. But they're going to tell him when he gets back and see what he says. He's probably going to flip out. But anyways, we've got the audio loaded up. We're going to start with MDS Recorder in Culinary. Don't know what it's going to lead to, but Chris pulled it out with a pair of pliers and gave it to me when I got back to the office. I put it in a plastic case, and yeah. So we'll see. Let's get to the audio. Night 1, MDS Recorder, Culinary. Yeah, I'm curious.
All right, this is Brent with Incarnate Paranormal. This is Nevada State Prison investigation number 5. This is MDS H1N recorder being left in Culinary on the dish return.
So I did GoPros different areas each night.
All right, gentlemen, I will be back later to speak with you, and we will get this party started tonight, so I will come back to visit with you. If you have anything to say, please come up to the dish return and talk to the little box.
I did have names for the people who were were murdered in Culinary. The guy who committed suicide in death row. So I was using physical names.
Please don't hesitate to make some noise. Please don't hesitate to tell your story.
I was using actual names this year. So We're going to see how that works out. A lot less noise. I modified the settings on the recorders, so hopefully they're not going to be terrible. It wasn't windy. It was pretty calm, and like I said, don't have a bunch of people bumbling about. So we're going to have a lot of silence, which is good. So we don't have to rush this. We've got a year. But again, this is what we've got to go through. Got the from Eddie meter that I had recording in the execution chamber with me. Phone, Lumix. I've already separated all the. Oh yeah, we heard Jasper. We heard Jasper. Not as much, but we heard him. I'm sure the recorders will get him, because I didn't. And I'm actually scared to actually jump through silence this year, because there was nobody else there. So actually, I do not want to jump through silence this year. Tagged out 2 bear and a mountain lion. Nice. So while we're listening, we can go through the pictures. I only took, well, I only took 40 pictures this year. Definitely not a lot. I mean, we can go ahead and go through them, see if there's anything. So, Susan sent me a picture that I found very interesting. They had a group in culinary, and I was trying to recreate it. Let me get through our pictures, then I'll show you what it is. They had a tour group, and they got a picture of a full body apparition. So this is pretty much pictures we've already seen through other years. Up in women's, we had a lot of activity up in women's. Ooh, orbs. So really nothing. I did. I did take a bottle of Jack Daniels into last night's cells for Eddie Cole. I emptied the bottle first, and I put iced tea in it and sealed it back up. Took it into last night's cells, trying to bring out activity since he was a notorious drinker. So yeah, I actually took that in with me. This was, where is it at? Where is it at? Shit, I'm gonna have to do it another night. I didn't, I didn't get it off my phone yet. It's gonna be for another night. but they got a full body apparition. Oh, what? Is that me? No, that's not me. That's a voice. Okay, there's a whisper. Hopefully this is number one. Problem is, there's nobody in there. I am it. Susan and Chris are still in the office. I am up in probably I'm not, I don't even I'm up in I didn't even know. I didn't go to infirmary this year. Or did I? Yeah, I set one up in infirmary for night 1, not night 2. They've turned a lot of infirmary into an art museum. It's fucking disgusting. It's actually pissing the spirits off that they're using part of culinary and part of infirmary as an art museum. Yeah, the spirits do not like it. No, Dead's last year was nothing. They've got art from other prisons, from I think San Quentin. There's like I think there's like one piece of art from NSP. The rest is from other prisons and bullshit art. Whoever did the art went to like the head of the board and said they wanted to use it for a museum, and the prison would make money off of it. The prison is making zero off of it. It's actually pretty fucking pathetic. It's pissing the docents off. Deads, Bud, I have no freaking idea. The lady who's handling the art finagled her way in, and it is not doing good. Like I said, it pisses the spirits off. One of the first days they had the art in there, they came in, and a couple of them were knocked down. After my first night there, yeah, but like nobody's in there. And even if it's only metal, there's nobody in there. Yeah, that's residual noise. I've got to count this. There's nobody around. There's nothing in the I am hearing a whisper in there. I am hearing a whisper. I want to clean this up a little bit. Just humor me. Humor me here. See, at the end, I'm hearing a whisper. Yeah, I'm sending it to Susan. All right, just gonna save it as unknown metal.
You fucking
So,
sneaky bastard.
whatever. There's no way that's a bird. But they're saying they're trying to get him out of there because it's like I said, it's not making any money for the prison. The lady's pocketing it all. So why have it if the prison's not going to make anything? But it's exposure. I guess that's their reasoning. It's exposure. Oh yeah, that's why both nights I told the spirits to rip it down. You'll hear the recordings like, guys, if you don't like it, just tear it down. I want to come back tomorrow night and I want to see it on the ground. I would have loved to have seen that. I'll never do damage to it because that's bad karma on me. But it's said where's it at? I know I have a picture of this. I did bring the bottle into Neil Pitney's cell and put it right by the Eddy. Like I said, granted, it's only iced tea in there, but it's still a bottle. And I hope to God we got evidence out of that. And that was night 2 that I did this. No, it's not. It, like I said, it's art from other prisons. Uh, no. It is what it is, though.
You fucking sneaky bastard.
Yeah, prisoners made art. Somebody wanted to come up and say hi. Okay. The camera, bud. Jesus. He's acting like he's going to jump up and he ain't. Okay. You had your chance, buddy. But you know, guys, like I said, yeah, it sucked Deds wasn't there. He would have had a freaking field day with the amount of activity, the amount of footsteps and voices we physically heard. You know, like even Chris Susan and I just walking through. It was insane. And I think that's a problem. Yeah, Deds, it sucks you weren't there, man. You would have freaked out. Did you get an answer on all the other sounds you sent? Some of them. She can't explain them. A lot of them she can't explain. She's like, Brent, because I don't know what it is. So like I said, I gave her a thumb drive of everything. I said, if you figure it out, let me know. Deds, I do too. After being locked in the execution chamber, after being locked in that chamber, I'm not saying it was paranormal. She can't explain it, and she's in the prison almost every day. If she can't explain a normal sound, I'm not calling it paranormal, but I'm not calling it not paranormal or paranormal. It's unexplained. Could it be building sounds? Absolutely. Excuse me. Could it be natural building sounds? Absolutely. You know, got to remember, this goes back to the 20s and the 30s. Certain parts of that building goes back to when it was built. So could it be natural sounds from the metal and the steel and the stone? Yeah, it absolutely could be. But who are we to say what is and what isn't? I mean, a lot of that stuff, you know, we just could not explain. I'm not there enough to know. So, what do you do? A couple maybes in there. But hopefully this year we're gonna do it right. 2 nights is definitely enough. If you're just doing the main cell house, culinary, you know, all that, 2 nights right now is plenty. Not doing on the hill, don't need to go 3 nights. And I don't think they're going to let people up there anymore. Prison's taking back over a couple of the buildings, so it's going to be fenced off from now on. So that'll mean just the main cell house from now on anyway, which is okay. There's a lot to investigate. Ooh, there's motorcycles. Great. I just don't know. It's no, they're doing your day tours, the ghost walks, the investigations, then the bullshit art. No, It's not locked off right now. They just don't want people up there because of the air quality in the building. When Warm Springs Prison opens back up, they're talking about taking over the old gymnasium building, which would lock off all that upper yard. Which I get it. I get it. It's and Susan made a valid point. Uh, the spirits don't like it when you go to the upper yard, then come back to the other one and keep bouncing back and forth. If you're on the bottom yard, the spirits want you to stay down there. And Susan, they've started clearing out the documents. They're actually transferring them to a warehouse to archive everything. From what I understand, the gym is about half full now. But even when it gets cleared, they're not going to let us in. It's going to reopen a lot of the history of the prison once they get the documents, scanned or repaired or whatever they got to do. But back to it, Susan and Chris said they would go up and investigate, then come back down, and the spirits wouldn't talk to them for a couple days. Then they'd go back in and have all sorts of activity at the main cell house. They'd go up top, even to check on something, come back. The spirits wouldn't communicate with them. So I think to get good evidence, we just have to stay down, which is fine. We're getting enough on the bottom now to take care of it. I've got, like I said, this year I had an extra GoPro. My GoPros this year were in, hold on, let me play audio while we're doing this. We're in the kitchen, death row, isolation, women's, both nights in execution viewing, and 2 nights of roaming. So the kitchen is where I think we're going to have the luck. Did the staff stay on top when it was a prison? No. Only the guards to keep an eye on the prisoners. It's only cell houses up top. Well, the chapel, and 6 through 13. They never stayed up there. Just to work. Bird. But they put a new roof on the cell house. Cost like $1 million. They're re-roofing the old courthouse. They're doing a lot of repairs, which is amazing. They ran electricity to a couple new areas of the prison. I think it was B block actually has power now. So they're getting power in there, which is good. It's also bad. EMF interference on meters. Yeah. Rain did a lot of damage over the past year. And they were telling me rain and snow did a lot of freaking damage. So they had to get in there and repair it. So I guess that's all right. The ultimate corrosive, yeah. But I've got a video of me opening the execution chamber door. Chris unlocked it. He's like, "Hey Brent, you unlock it." It's like, what? You open the execution chamber door. As soon as I opened that execution chamber door, a wave of energy hit me like nobody's business. Chris was filming me on his phone. No, it's okay. Pause the audio. Are you ready for this, Deds? Do you have Tylenol ready? This is going to give Deds a headache. No, they open it all the time. It's not just airtight. They open it all the time. The cave, the Geological Society went in there and deemed it unsafe. Some group went in there and said they'd pay to have it shored up. But you could see where the stones have dropped. A couple of the pillars have actually fallen over. They are working on putting a fucking bar in the cave. A fucking bar. I'm not shitting. I am not freaking kidding. I am dead serious. They're working on putting a bar in there. And I asked Susan, I'm like, they can't serve alcohol. It's prison grounds. No, in the cave, TM. In the cave. The one that we went into 2 years ago. Where the roof is collapsing, or the stone is collapsing down. Some group is going in there and saying they can do all this shit. There's no way they can shore up that cave, shore up that ceiling. It's impossible. That's a million pounds of stone right there. No, not a million, but it's a couple 100,000 pounds of stone. There's no way. But yeah, they want to turn it into a freaking bar. Yeah. But like I said, somebody offered to pay for the repairs to the cave, and it's like, you're not going to do it. You could look up through the cave and see the sky. TM, now you know where the headache comes in. Now you know why I said get the Tylenol. Somebody said that, they'll shore it up, but it's like, you can't. It's on prison grounds, which is a state-run property with a live prison, or technically a live prison next door. You cannot have alcohol there, in my view. I couldn't take a bottle up to execution to do an investigation. I had to video myself pouring out the Jack Daniels and refilling it with iced tea to prove I wasn't bringing alcohol onto prison grounds. So when she told me bar, my jaw hit the freaking floor. I was like, are you? She goes, I know, Brent. It's painful for us. It's like, but the good news is, Nevada State Prison Paranormal did make me a satellite member. So I am technically an official member of Nevada State Prison Paranormal. Mine did too. My jaw hurts. Yeah. But the ghost walks and tours aren't making as much as they thought. Tours were a little slow this year. But there is I can't say which one yet. I'm not allowed to say which one. There is a TV show going back to the prison this week. It's either this week or next week. They've done the prison before. They're going back in to investigate again. No. Even if it was TM, I can't say. But it's not. Susan's going to show them all my evidence, on the one on the thumb drive, video as well, and see if they can compare it. I told Susan, I was like, if you would have let me know, I would have got a couple more days off, flown back and helped you with it. It's like, Jesus. Because these people are good. These people are not fake. Uh, just metal. So we'll see. I mean, they also asked if I could come up again before, you know, another. They want me to come up a couple additional times if I can. So if I get a 3-day weekend when it's warm, I might take a 3-day weekend and just fly up there. You know, fly out on a Thursday, investigate on a Friday and Saturday, and fly back Sunday morning. You know, that's not too bad. But fucking Southwest Airlines. It's I don't think it's Project Fear anymore. I think it's Destination. It was Destination Fear. Now it's Project Fear. Yeah, they're still going. They have they do everything on YouTube now. They're still on you. They're on YouTube fully. Couple 3-day weekends. I think I'm gonna fly up there. So it's a 55-minute flight. Josh Gates. No, that's with Dakota Layden and Chelsea something and somebody else. Dakota used to be on Ghost Adventures before him and Zach had a falling out. And Chelsea. Then I forget the other guy's name. But yeah, his sister and friend, yeah. But all the other ghost hunting shows are falling off. You don't see the Ghost Brothers anymore. All the Holzer Files is done. Unless you're following a lot of the streamers, you know, there's really no ghost hunting. And it's kind of depressing. You can choose from ghost hunters or ghost adventures. I don't know. I just don't. Like I said, I even talked to Susan and Chris up there. They're like, Brent, you need to move up here. It's like, I know. Problem is, I'd have to find a job at least 35 an hour. That'd only make the only reasonable rate for me to move up there. Problem is, the field I work in, not a lot up there. I'd have to do streaming full time to make a living. Or, you know, stream from the prison every day. But that would get old real quick. You're about as far from the prison as I am, aren't you, Dads? You're what, 8-hour drive? I don't remember how far you are from the prison, but yeah, 9 hours. Same here. So it wouldn't be worth it. And then you'd have to worry about getting to the airport. So, you know, it's 20-minute Uber to Residual metal. Nothing. Yeah, had to check. 20-minute Uber to the airport, 55 to hour 15 flight. Land, get the freaking rent a car. I could be to Carson City in 3 hours. So but next y'all are fucking nuts. Ghosts aren't real. What's up, Ducky? But now that Duds is in here, I don't know if he has seen his pop-up.
Pull on my finger, would you?
A permanent place on the show. Pull my finger. Pay attention, Dads.
Pull on my finger, would you?
Remember when you had that sticker thing caught in your finger? You said, pull my finger? I had to pull it to get that little sticker bush out. TM, if he did, I don't want to know about it. Yeah, chilling like a villain. A question for Brent. Inside joke. Yes, I went to U.S. sub base 3 days in a row. I said ghosts are real as her head on her head. Deads, no. I didn't investigate up the hill. We only went in because of the EVP for check the sink. So yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't. As soon as we walked in there on day one to check the sink, I'm like, I took one whiff of the air and it was worse than old culinary. That air was worse than culinary. So, no. Wasn't worth it. Dude, you couldn't take a step without stepping in rat shit. That's how bad it was. Freaking cobwebs everywhere. Rat shit everywhere. It was bad. Talk about human trash. I would love to investigate base camp at Mount Everest. That's actually on my list. But full cost for that is about 15 grand. I've looked into it. No moose, but hold on, pause this. No moose, but I wore the Birds the Birds jersey, and I asked them if they could read what was on my shirt. Not a good picture of that, but I asked them if they could read what was on my shirt. The dead zone area, yeah. I follow a group on Facebook. The guy's a paranormal investigator in Nepal, And he said he wants to investigate base camp, but it's not exactly easy. So I think it'd be fun to try, but I'm not paying 15 grand. A couple possibilities. I don't think it's going to do much until I'm in there investigating. I think that's going to be when we start getting evidence. I did mention a certain streamer in the execution chamber. You guys will hear it. I did see a short where Steve-O from Jackass 03 had heard that. You're up that high, you can't help. If you help somebody up on Everest, you can die while helping them. So yeah, I get it. It's kind of heartless, but are you going to risk your life with 90% chance of dying to do that? No, you're not. But people still claim it. Yeah, they do. Too cold for me up there. Yeah. I don't think I could do it. You're up that high. You're in the you're in Dead said, the dead zone area, the death zone. Once you get above base camp, your chances of survival are 50-50. You got to let people die. I mean, you take that risk. That's just cold hard facts. You're literally lugging around at that point dead weight. Cold, hard fact of life. On YouTube, they just went to base camp 1 and down again. It took some time just to find a guy that will do it. Like I said, the guy I follow on YouTube or on Facebook, he said he'd do it. Just go investigate base camp and come back. You know, I get that, and yeah, I'd do it. Base camp is a trek enough. Base camp's got to be haunted. That mountain's got to be haunted as shit. I forget the guy's name. Uh, shit, I don't have it handy. Yeah, they have to leave the deceased there. Uh, what's the one that's like halfway from base camp to the summit? It's like Green Boots guy. He's like the marker to let you know you're on the right path. 300 people have died climbing Everest, which probably 200 bodies still in the mountains. Some of the dearly departed are visible on the mountain. Others are forever lost. It's not coming to walk over frozen bodies. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Green Boots guy is like the halfway point. And people watched him die. There's stories out there where his climbing party went on without him. Yeah, they identified him by the color of his boots. He was with like two other climbers. He went down and they left him there. That's a risk you take. And I think you even signed waivers with the guides saying, if you go down, that's it. That's what they told me when I went down in the mine in Goldfield. If something happens, you're fucked. That was it. It's like, are you willing to take that risk? Yeah. 6,014 as of 2021. Yeah, Sherpas don't. And I think even in base camp 1, you can potentially need oxygen. Which is creepy. Halfway up to base camp 1, lungs at half capacity, head, yeah. But base camp 1 before you leave for the summit, yeah. That's on my bucket list. That's a cell door closing. So that's not from the kitchen. Oh, Deads. They did have all the refrigerators open this year. -1. The one in the very back by the back door. The rest of the reefers were wide open. They finally got the keys for them. Nothing. I got them on video. They're nothing special. It's like going into a refrigerator in a freaking restaurant. Yeah, the one in the very back by the back door by the loading dock area. That one they couldn't find the key to yet. The guard office, when you walk in the front door, the guard office, you remember where all the files were discombobulated and the keys were everywhere? They finally got all the keys and everything straightened up in that office. Dead bodies on Mount Everest. I'll pass for now. Yeah, I spent an hour in a room where 32 people were executed. I'm good for now. I spent, 48 minutes in that freaking execution chamber, shackled and handcuffed. I'm good looking up dead bodies right now. I am stone cold good. It took a lot out of me. And I'd do it all over again. I would literally leave tonight, do it again tomorrow night, and come back. That's how much evidence I think we got. I think once we get to the audio for that, the audio and the video, I think we ought to, everybody take their guess on how many EVPs or pieces of evidence you think we're going to get inside that chamber. And I think it's going to be over 20. Ducky, we're not getting to it until the very end. This is going to be the very last piece we analyze. But 8 and 40 minutes, that's a fair number. That is a very fair number. He wants the suspense, not suspension. I want the suspense. You're right. I am not going to kill the show early just to freaking look at the execution chamber. It's not going to happen. The only way we're going to jump ahead to the execution chamber for a 40-some minute video is if I see a $5,000 tip dropped in this channel. That's the number. So we'll be back in a year. It's not going to take us probably 7 months to do this. Figure we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 recorders and 4 GoPros. At 2 nights. 5,000. Let me go pay money off my money tree. Yeah, it's, and watch us get 0 EVPs out of it. But like I said, within 30 seconds, the Eddie was going crazy. After my first statement, the Eddie meter was going nuts. Like, when I was in there investigating, Chris Pitzer was outside filming with another GoPro, and he kept trying to signal me that he heard voices when I was quiet. When I was quiet between questions, he could hear voices coming from the chamber or coming from outside. So the good thing is, for this, I had Chris with a GoPro outside. I had a digital recorder outside on the table outside execution viewing. I had a recorder in last night's B1. I had a recorder in last night's B2. I had the GoPro inside the cell with me, and I had a digital recorder with me. So we had literally 6 things recording in that area. 6 things. We are not going to miss anything from when I was in there. I made sure we had this blanketed for this. We'll see. So, I'm really excited. Hopefully we can double up on EVPs and confirm them. So if they happen at the same time, we're gonna find out. The good thing is they'll only be a couple minutes apart on the recorder. Actually, maybe a minute apart. Because like I said, yada yada recorder, night 1, Nevada State Prison, visit 5. Last night's B1, set it down. Do the same thing, B2, set it down. So you're talking about 60 to 75 seconds apart. We'll be able to match EVPs real quick. But yeah, it's like I said, Susan was a little hesitant about my idea about being shackled. She's like, "You sure?" It's like, "Yep." Chris is like, "I'll bring them. If you want to do this, I'll freaking bring them." It's like, game on. It's like, and like Susan had told me, she goes, Tammy got attacked, Michelle got attacked, a couple other people got attacked, Kalani got attacked. She goes, I've been attacked. She goes, everybody that goes in there gets attacked. I didn't. They drained every bit of energy out of my body, but I didn't get attacked. That's why I'm anticipating evidence. A lot of evidence, but who knows? And that was a question at work today. They're like, how was the execution chamber? Then I told them I was shackled, and they're like, you're freaking nuts. Why would you do that? It's like, because nobody else would. And like I said, we had a shit storm at work while I was gone too, so. Moose? Bud. Even the docents wouldn't do this. I'm sure you would. When we get to the video, like I said, when Chris put the camera on me and said it's time, you see the look of like a partial look of regret on my face. Let me see did I get this? Hold on. Did I at least transfer this over? I don't know how good a quality the video is. Shit. I'm gonna have to get this video over to my phone too. Of me actually going in, opening up the chamber for the first time. When I opened the chamber door, according to Chris, my face changed on camera. He said I literally started to look like Eddie Cole. When I pulled the door back, for a split second, my face changed. I'm going to have to get it over onto the computer for another show. But he said, he goes, dude, you did not look like you. As soon as you turned your head real quick, you look different. I did not get it all over. I'm pissed. Because I wish I could show you one of the pictures right now. For a second, Moose, he did. I think in the execution chamber, a couple of them did. When I mentioned John Hall, I said, it's like his final words before they executed him was, he asked the warden for a gas mask before they gassed him. So I mentioned that in the execution chamber. A little ballsy to do, but I did. Uh, like I said, I think they all showed me what it was like in there. Scared me a little bit, I ain't gonna lie, the next morning when I literally couldn't even barely get out of bed. It was like they showed me what they felt. And it took a lot from it took a big piece out of me. And like I said, in 16 years, I've never been hit that hard. Ever. I guess it's things you got to put yourself out there. Sometimes you got to use yourself as bait to draw out the spirits. And I think we did. I think I did. Only one area I got real hesitant in. And that's up in C Block. C36 got me again. It got me really on edge. The one guy who committed suicide in death row, Dennis Leon Nogue, I called him out, see if he was still there. Be like, I heard you hung yourself from the cord from your laundry bag. Is that true? And it just got heavier than shit in there. So, throwing names out there this year, I think helped. I really think it helped. Instead of just saying, oh, I heard somebody was killed in here. What was your name? You go in with the names. And Deads did get a kick out of this one. The two guys that were stabbed to death in Culinary, well, I said, it's like, do you know the person who stabbed you? Or like in death row, yeah, I did. It's like, I think he's trapped there and he knows. It's a suicide. I mean, he knows he killed himself. But the two guys we talked about in Culinary that got stabbed, the guy that stabbed the two guys or killed them, got life in prison for it, and he died 2 years ago. The guy who stabbed the two guys died 2 years ago. I have the name still written down in the case, but I mentioned that on the investigation on night 1 and 2, saying I mentioned the guy's name, the guy who stabbed you died 2 years ago. How did that make you feel, knowing he's dead now? I can't wait to see what we got out of that. So, using physical names of the people that were involved in the crimes, I think I was poking a little bit, but I think it paid off for us. I really think it paid off. So the ghosts can fight together. Maybe his spirit was cast there so the two guys could get revenge on him. That would be one hell of a thing, wouldn't it? Hey, guess what? Your eternity is to get the shit kicked out of you by the two people you murdered. That's your eternity, is have the shit beat out of you by two people. Who's to say that's not happening? We're going to find out if we got that on audio. Wouldn't that be something? Hear a ghost fist fight. Just a bunch of bitch slaps. Smack, 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 smack. You're like, wow. Yeah, we are going to have a lot of quiet. That's unavoidable. We know this. We got like I said, we got a long way to go. We are 59 minutes into the first recorder out of 14. So hopefully we find the little ones hidden in there this year. Who knows? But we did spend about 2 hours in women's. Chris, Susan, and I investigating. We did get a lot of evidence on the Eddie, which we had the GoPro focused on the Eddie. So I hope it gets it. I hope it got it all. The creeper up on D block, not really. The blob down in women's, yeah. Mr. Happy Pants for a couple of minutes. But I will tell you, night one, when I set up in D block, I took the recorder all the way to the end again, and I started smelling smoke, like the prison was on fire. I think I do. I don't think I have it on recorder because I didn't carry one through setup. I don't think I carried the GoPro for setup or teardown either. Just because I didn't want the boring video of that. I got up in D block and I started choking on smoke. It literally felt like I was walking through a burning building, choking on smoke. It sucked. You'll hear it when I'm setting up the recorder because I turned it on. I started getting choked up. I could not breathe. And I got back down. I told Susan, it's like, you're probably smelling from when they set the guy on fire. The smoke from that is the residual smoke probably came through, and that's what was choking me. So, I don't know. But I get weirded up on D block. Didn't do as much as I wanted to. But I still did a lot. For what we did, I did a lot. Remember if you said it burned only one? Yeah, it only burned one guy. But if I remember right, he didn't die at the prison. He died at the hospital, if I remember right. But still, you're burned alive. Your energy is going to go back to where that happened, not at the hospital. So do I think his spirit's still there and that's the creeper? Yeah, I do. But yeah, burned flesh, whole different beast. Did I have notes? Yeah, I know Fetch knows that smell for sure. Doing what she does, that's a given. I think I couldn't have thrown away all those notes. There's no way I threw away those notes. I might have. I think I threw them away. It smells like Kellogg's Corn Flakes. You burn yourself, it smells like freaking Burger King. At least that's what I think. I think burned bodies smells like Burger King. Yeah, I threw away the notes. Don't know why I did that, but I did. Oops. I'll have to find the names. I said I know Execution, or excuse me, Death Row was Dennis Leon Nogue. Only reason I remember that is because of the weird last name. It's like a story behind him was his execution was commuted to life in prison, and he offed himself because he didn't want to spend his life in prison. So the others, Scott Allen Pickworth, or Scott Pickworth and something else. I'll have to get it for tomorrow night. But anyways, guys, we got through just over an hour of audio. Only got one potential with that unknown noise. We have looks like a couple areas in here that might have something. That looks like birds. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Anyways, Deads, Vexus, Moose, TM, Ducky, if you're still here. Gentlemen, I truly thank you for being here tonight for the first show back. Nevada State Prison Investigation 5. 5 of, and there's going to be many, many more. Anyways, guys, have a great night. God bless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks again.